Hello, hello, hello. This is Deadman's Tome Podcast. And I am your temporary host, SK Barrett, filling in for Jesse. And joining me is the wonderful and talented Tammy G.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Amazing. How are you?
Well, I wouldn't say amazing, but tolerable.
I'm okay.
Yeah, I don't want to brag or anything.
Yeah, this is true.
Holy crap, we had snow today up in the mountains.
What?
Yeah,
That's crazy.
it's nuts. And not like way up in the mountains where it might be expected, but just a couple of thousand feet up.
That's nuts. I think it was like in the high 80s here, but it's supposed to start to really cool down now.
What does that mean for you?
It gets like it's gonna be in the 70s
Oh,
for the next couple weeks, I think.
brrr.
Well, I don't mean like cold. It does get into like the 30s here.
Really?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
During
cool.
like the winter months.
Well, that's cool.
Yeah. So we're just waiting on Eileen. She hasn't called you yet.
We've had no calls, no communications with our guest tonight, but we're, still holding out hope that this is going to work and we'll get to talk to Eileen. Um, but in the meantime, um, one of the things that Eileen is kind of known for is that she had a part in a very famous movie called The
The
Exorcist.
Exorcist.
Yes, The
My
Exorcist.
favorite movie.
Is it?
It is my all-time favorite movie.
And I really hope we get to talk to her because I has questions.
Same. Me
Because
too.
this movie came out when I was in high school, I have to say. Um, and she was, we'll say, she was probably 30-ish at the time.
Mhm.
I was a teenager. The urban legends around that movie that were going around were just incredible.
Oh my
Um,
god.
about people viewing the movie, about
Mhm.
things that went on the set. There was just all kinds of shit being talked about The Exorcist at the time.
Oh yeah. Weren't people like getting sick in the movie theater and
Right.
having to leave and
Yes, yes.
yeah.
Um, there was talk about, paranormal experiences on the set.
Oh, I can imagine.
Um, it was probably all bullshit, but it got people really curious about the movie. There were protests against the movie.
Yeah, I can imagine back, especially back in that time.
Yeah.
For
Um,
sure.
it didn't really hurt sales, I gotta say. If anything, um,
Do we know what the box office sales were the day that it came out?
let me find out. I don't.
Let's take a look. I'll look it up.
Box Office Mojo, I think, is the place to go for that.
Hold on, let's see. Whoa. Yeah, it did 193 million.
And in those days, dollars.
That's what it says.
Wow, that's huge.
Uh-huh. Definitely. It's a lot of money.
Uh, adjusted for ticket price. Yeah, see next table down. Adjusted for inflation. almost $1 billion in today's
Holy
money.
crap! That's
Yeah,
huge.
it was a big deal.
Yeah, yeah, because that was like the first like real horror movie, right?
Well, I mean,
Of that kind, anyway.
big box office horror movie for sure.
Right.
I mean, there had been other horror movies. I mean, Rosemary's Baby
Yeah.
and a number of ones from well, and then the old black and whites, of course.
Right.
The classics. Um,
But it was really like the first of its kind, though.
it really was, in a lot of senses. It certainly was one of the uh, there were people who really believed this stuff, that even though it was a fictional movie based on a fictional book, a lot of people buy into this, still do.
Well, I heard
Demonic.
that there was a real story behind it, though, but it was a boy instead of a girl.
Mm. Linda Blair, I think, um, it really made her career, but she
Yeah.
didn't seem to really do a lot with it.
Well, and she didn't do really a lot in the movie either. Like I know that
No,
Eileen, she played most of like the really aggressive possession scenes. Who was it? Mercedes. I can't think of her last name. She did the voice of the
Mercedes
demonic
Rule.
entity. I think so. I mean, there were a lot of doubles for her in that movie,
Yeah,
and but she got all the recognition for it.
right. Let's see. I'm looking for full cast. There's the link.
All right. I just
Uh,
heard from her. She just sent me a number for you to call. It's her Skype number. I'm gonna go ahead and send that to you.
okay.
Sorry, guys, we've been having some technical difficulty getting her on the line. Just sent it to you.
All right. Let's see. Let's see about adding this to the call.
Hopefully.
Do 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 do.
Hi there.
Hello.
Hi.
Hi, I wanted to make my Skype work, and I don't know why it's not working.
Or it could be a pain in the butt sometimes.
It really can be. Yeah, it's one of
It
the
says,
banes.
welcome, Eileen. Tell your friends, start a conversation, and I put in your number. Should I put in something else besides your number?
You know what? It's all good now.
Yeah, I think we're good. You're
All
online
right, but
now.
I wanted to show off my book and my statue.
We can do
Oh,
that. Yeah.
if you send paste the pictures into the Skype chat, I'll get them into the show.
Yeah, but I can't get into your address. That's the
Wait,
whole problem.
Or you can send them if you can send them to my Facebook Messenger. I can go ahead and send that over to him.
Okay.
Yeah.
yeah.
Here I am, all dressed up and everything. I feel like I'm going out on a date and I got stood up. Because, I've Skyped before, so I don't know why I'm having this problem. Just for the heck of it, what is your Skype name?
What's the one we're using?
What's your Skype name?
I'm using Jesse's. So,
Oh, you don't want it on the air, right?
yeah, it's Jesse Deadman.
Should I try it?
Well, no, we're already talking. It's not necessary.
Okay. But I feel like I'm on a date and got stood up.
You're okay, because we're actually going to be showing your photos on
Wait,
the
I have
YouTube.
to finish this because I'm compulsive. Are you Jesse Dietz? What's your last name?
Oh, my name is SK. I'm filling in for Jesse.
Oh, so what's the Skype name?
I'm using Jesse's Skype account for this.
And what's his last name?
Deadman.
Deadman?
D
Hmm.
Deadman. Yep.
Jesse Deadman. Okay. If you want, I'll stop. I promise.
It's fine.
I have one in Portland. I know Pearland, and one in Nashville, and one in Live. Okay. Now you know I can get now you know I can get obsessive. Okay. Here I am. I'm
Hi.
getting over oh, look at he came up, um, waiting for Jesse to accept an invitation. um, anyway, here I am. I'm getting over really quickly. A really, really bad, I don't know. I hate to say it's a cold because that sounds so nothing, but
Aw.
who knows? A headache, a cold, a sore throat, and a cough. But I feel much better today, believe it or not.
Well, that's
That's
good.
good. I'm glad you're feeling better.
Well, I can't feel any worse.
So
I
we.
went to see actually I went to see the Joker while I was feeling that bad because I
Oh
wasn't
my.
going to miss it. But I guess we shouldn't talk about that because I'm totally different than probably half the world.
Yeah, let's talk about you.
Absolutely.
Okay.
We were just talking about The Exorcist while we waited, and
The Exorcist, what's that?
nobody
Oh,
ever asks you
my
about that one, do they?
Uh, no, no, never. No, but you may.
Well, I was telling Tammy that movie. I was in high school when that movie came out, and there was the urban legends that were going around surrounding that movie were just off the charts. There was so many of them, and
You mean
they're
about
all
things that happened or happened to
yeah,
people
yeah,
or happened on set?
things that happened on the set, and things that happened in the audiences when they were watching, like people, fainting and having to be taken out, and there was talk about paranormal events during the filming, um, and it's hard to remember all the details, but I remember there was a lot of different stories going around.
Yeah, well, do you want me to destroy everybody's illusions, or shall we
Please.
leave it at that?
No, let
You
us know
really
the
want me to do
I really do.
truth.
that? Okay. Um, I could say forgive me, Warner Brothers, but Warner Brothers doesn't care about me. Um, most of those things were setups, and they paid people to faint in the aisles and throw up in the aisles and run out of the theater. It was the best PR campaign to ever hit anywhere.
So they
Um,
really did make these things happen. They weren't just stories. So that even though they were setups, they actually
they
happened.
happened, but well, they happened, but they didn't happen for real.
Yeah.
They
Right.
happened because they paid people to do it.
Oh, I love that. That's a fabulous
And then
story.
the other thing they did, it was masterful. Well, the other thing they did was, it was the first movie that had people line up to get in
Mhm.
to the theater rather than coming and going. So they always showed this huge line of people waiting to get in. They also, I think it was the first movie that absolutely closed the set. and you weren't allowed. We weren't allowed to take anything, and I mean anything, out of that set. Not even Dick Smith or Master of Horror. He wasn't allowed to take any of his stuff out now. Some things have, developed, like people have seen trailers of makeup tests and stuff like that. But basically, nobody could take anything out. And I somehow ended up with a picture of the Captain Howdy makeup being put on, and which doesn't look as much like as the end result. And I have a picture of Reagan in the makeup room, but that's it. And I don't even know how I got the two, because if they saw you with a camera, and of course we didn't have cell phones then,
Right.
um, they would take them away.
Wow.
They wanted everything to be this kind of big, big mystery. And it's really interesting because Bill Blatty's son came down to LA last week. They had a screening of The Exorcist at the Egyptian Theater, and he came down and he convinced me to go see it. So that was really fun because we talked about, all kinds of things and things that he didn't know about.
So was there um, anything unusual other than a closed set? Was there anything unusual, during the filming?
Well, something happened to me. There was a fire, but we don't
Right.
know to this day if it was an electrical fire that kind of just happened, or if it was paranormal. I mean, who's to say?
I mean,
But one
was
thing
there
happened
any
with me.
brimstone found at the source of the fire?
No, but they had a priest come in every day and bless the set.
They
So
did
that
they
was
really?
true.
Yeah, Billy Freakin stayed aside laughing because he didn't believe in any of that stuff. But Bill Blatty, he passed last year. May he
Oh.
rest in peace. I think he was he was old, 89 or 90 or something. Um,
Mhm.
he's a very, very religious man, extremely. And if you see the misnamed Exorcist 3, which is also called Dominion, there's a
Mhm.
lot more religion in there. And I think it's a great movie. It's just they sold it wrong.
Mm.
But nevertheless, I will tell you one story, and it's a good place to pitch my book because it's one of the stories in my book, which is
Oh.
called Exorcising My Demons. Um, and one day, I guess most people know that the set was kept at 10 degrees or less. So they had the vapor coming out of everybody's mouth.
Oh.
And one
Oh.
day, and everybody else had wetsuits on. I mean, Freakin', the cameraman, the crew, Max Van Sydow, they all had wetsuits on, but not Linda and me. We had that nightgowns. And I
Mhm.
swear, I was sitting there one day and I said, I can't do this today. I simply cannot do this today. It is too cold. I can't do it. And God is my witness. Um, the sprinkler system went off and it wet the
Oh.
entire um,
Oh.
stage area. So we
Oh
Mhm.
my.
shot in a big, big, big stage in New York City on West 57th Street. And the sprinklers went off. So they had to open up all the doors to dry out the place. And it took 24 hours to make everything that cold. And they didn't have 24 hours because The Exorcist was way, way over budget and way, way over time. So there's actually a couple frames, and we had to shoot, so we shot. But there's actually a couple frames in that movie um, where there's no vapor coming out of anybody's breath. And it was all because I said, "Dear God, I can't do this." And that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Now, did you believe in the paranormal? Did you believe that these things were real when you were doing the movie?
I've always been spiritual,
Mhm.
and I was actually brought up agnostic.
Mhm.
Um, but for some reason, I always felt spiritual, and that there were things always happening that I didn't believe. Well, in my bad times, I believed that God was an evil man sitting on a throne, and he meted out punishment to everybody, which is not a good thing to believe. It was probably
No.
my father, um, but so uh, I I didn't believe in any of the religious stuff, But I
Mhm.
did believe that there was something working out there and some forces to be reckoned with. And if anybody rereads the book, as Bill Blatty had a quote that because he was thrown out of the editing room, they wouldn't let him in there. They locked the doors, and he said The Exorcist, of course, was an amazing and great film. If they'd listened to me, it would have been a masterpiece.
Oh,
So
of course.
a lot of people would say it's a masterpiece, but in the book and in the movie, with the things they cut out,
Mhm.
it's very religious, and it's religious, but there's always the question of whether she was really possessed or whether she was just ding dong. um, but in the movie, obviously, they made her possessed because the
Right.
demon eyes goes into um, Jason, and he goes out the window. But in the book, and it's in the same way that in the book and in the movie, but they cut it out. Kitty Wynn, who played her assistant, had a much bigger part, and so the movie was spiritual, medical, and religious. But
Right.
they cut out most of the spiritual part and went to they kept adding medical. The latest version has yet another medical um, scene that they put in. So, but they took out all Kitty Wynn's part, and they also wouldn't let her off the set to shoot the Glass Menagerie with Katharine Hepburn. They just wouldn't let her go, and they said, "Well, we'll rehearse in New York and just shoot it in the UK." And they said no. So Kitty stopped acting after that, and I don't know if she doesn't do shows, she doesn't do anything.
Mhm.
Hmm.
She did marry very wealthy, but I don't know if she stopped acting because of that or because of who knows, because she didn't do Glass Menagerie. But if you guys want to ever pick up a film, and I know I'm digressing here, but if you guys ever want to pick up a film, pick up Panic in Needle Park with Kitty Wynn and Al Pacino. It's an
Oh man, I haven't
amazing.
seen that in ages.
I haven't either, but I remember it.
Yeah.
So, next
S-
question. I
So what?
have a lot of I have a lot of this stuff in my book, which is
Yeah,
called Exercise
we've got
Demons.
your
We have that
book
up right
cover
now.
on the stream showing everybody. Go buy our book, everybody.
Yeah, and don't buy it through Amazon for God's sake, because you can't get my autograph then, and I
Oh,
get less money.
Do you have a link
So go to
that we
my
can?
go to my Facebook
Yeah.
and send me a personal message, and you can get the book in 2 days, and I'll autograph it for you, and it has my handprint on it.
nice, nice.
That's
So,
awesome.
uh,
Tammy, you were going to get a book, Tammy. Did you
I
ever get a book?
No, I need to. When we get off the phone here, I'll order it through you for sure.
Okay.
very
So,
cool.
as long as I did that, let me very quickly. The book is obviously about the shooting of The Exorcist, and
Mm.
it's all the backstage stuff that you've always wanted to know. And but I decided, since most people know the spooky stuff, I went to a lot of the funny stuff about
Mhm.
how they shot the masturbation scene, which is absolutely hysterical, and about little pranks that they did on everybody. And I
Oh,
tried to make
fabulous.
that, but the whole first third of the book is how this little, it's not a third, but the first part of the book is how this little flat chested, buck tooth, 5'2" tower of energy found herself in the scariest movie of all time. And the guy who wrote it with me was an absolute genius. And he just told very, very funny stories. And I also have a Me Too incident in there, which at the time, it was this thing with Actors Equity. And I went all the way to Michigan to do a play to get my equity card. And he was just awful. He was just a beast. And and eventually he fired me. Um, but I got my equity card.
Oh,
um,
nice.
so that's in the book too. And funny stories about how I went to see Peter Pan and I thought I should be in the show. And so it's a lot like that. The co-writer's name is Dan Louvier, and he really is an absolute genius. He just took what I said and made it inspirational. And it's also about dreams and promises and like whatever you want to be, don't give it up. There's so much negativity out there, and
Hmm.
everybody said, "Oh, you're too little to be an actress. You're not sexy enough. You know, you don't have this, you don't have that." What? And even my parents, or especially my parents, and I didn't care, obviously, and so the whole first part of that book is about that and about not listening to negativities. If you want to be a wardrobe mistress, you want to work in costumes, you want to work in makeup, you want to own your own store, you want to be a mom, whatever it is your dream. Don't give it up. So that's what the book is about. But it's very funny and it's very inspirational.
Yeah, I look forward to reading that for sure.
Absolutely. It sounds like a lot of fun to read.
I'm gonna sneeze.
Okay.
Hold on.
You go ahead.
Not yet. It's coming. But
Oh, it's coming. It'll be here
it'll
anytime.
go away. I don't know. Might go away.
So you also sell Pazuzu statues too, right?
Oh yeah, and I'm getting 15 more. I think it would make a great Halloween present.
The what?
Yes, the Pazuzu
It's a great
statue.
Halloween present.
I don't even know what that
Tammy, I'll
is.
send you a picture of that too.
Oh
Halloween?
my gosh.
Oh, it's a statue of Pazuzu, and it comes from one of the frames in the film.
Oh, okay.
Where I'm on my knees. I have my hands up in the air with the straps, and it's the Pazuzu statue.
Yeah, it's
I
awesome.
used to
I'll
have the
send you.
head, but I ran out of that.
See.
So,
Again, if any of your listeners want to find out anything, please chat with me on Facebook. But if you just want to talk to me and you're not serious about buying anything, my chats are for relatives and close friends and people who want to buy things. And if you do that, this demon's gonna come get you.
Oh my god, I love you for that. That was awesome.
I've been
It's really like a lot of people don't. I should say celebrities, but it seems funny. But that's why a lot of celebrities don't have chats.
yeah.
Yeah,
People just abuse them.
this is
I
very true.
I've been scrolling through your IMDb page and holy crap, you've done a lot of movies and TV
And
shows.
they're all horror.
Yes.
So what drew you
And
into
I'm
horror?
doing more. I'm doing more.
You've got I know. So I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 films that are not released yet.
Well, that's the indie horror.
Yeah, I mean, some
Yes,
of these are just
it's
announced, some are
film.
pre-production, some are filming, some are post-production, and some are completed. But 18.
That's pretty
Well,
impressive.
some of them are released, but for some reason they don't get back to IMDb and get them released. Some of them are dreams that have been on there for 100 years
Okay.
and never going to happen. Um, and some of them are getting financing. It was funny.
It's still a long list.
It's too bad.
Yeah, I
That's
mean, no,
why I shoot them and I forget about them.
yeah, it's a lot of. You've been a busy lady.
Yeah, well, the newest ones got distribution. Like, there's a wonderful movie out that I haven't seen yet, but I'm going to be in Texas, in San Antonio, the 18th to the 20th.
Yeah.
What is it called? I forget. I need to write things down more. While we're talking,
You and me both.
or I need an assistant. I'm going to look up the name of it while we're talking.
Well, I
Um,
so just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 7 films that have been released this year.
oh, good.
S-
Well, I
7.
mean, if it,
That's
well, that's good.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Uh,
Let's
it,
see, Itsy Bitsy just got released,
yeah,
which is an absolute wonderful film about, guess what? A
possession.
spider.
Oh, spider.
Oh, I hate spiders.
I'm gonna see it. I'm gonna see it in a couple weeks.
What's the
Um,
one you're going to Austin for?
that's just an event.
Oh, okay.
And it's kind of bizarre that they even wanted me, but they own the garage from Texas Chainsaw Massacre,
Oh, I'm
and
so jealous.
it became an event for people to come see. And they wanted me to come, and I said, "But wait a minute, I wasn't in Texas Chainsaw Massacre." And they said, "It doesn't matter. Our people want to see you." I said, "Okay." So they paid for the plane, they paid for the hotel, and they gave me a guarantee, and you say, "Sure, I'll do that."
That's
Yeah, I'd do
awesome. Yeah, I
that.
want to visit there. I heard that they opened that up. I think you could
I
even
do.
stay there or something. Huh?
I, I said I lead a crazy life.
So what drew you into horror?
Well, when they talk about, and I think it's a crazy thing that they talk about, uh, that I have a brand.
Mm,
my my brand is horror, and I don't have to audition for horror.
got it.
So people just call me, and
Hmm.
I love doing it. So it totally works out,
Wow. I mean,
and that's. I mean,
that
even
is.
when I do excuse me, I'm sorry.
No, I was just gonna say that's such a terrific combination to be able to do something you really enjoy and be appreciated for, and to get paid for it, and to be able to continue doing it for as long as you've been doing it is
Oh,
that's quite a thing.
I am
So
absolutely totally blessed, and I know that.
definitely. So what
I
is
get
it?
down to
What
my
was your?
hands.
Sorry.
I just said I get down to my hands and knees, and thank the spirits out there, um, that I have these opportunities.
Yes, definitely. What was your
You know,
favorite indie horror film that you worked on?
oh geez, the last one. um, one of my best experiences. I played a character in a mental institution
Oh,
on
fun.
General Hospital, and that that was wonderful. Um, I mean, she was such a great little character, and she felt she was responsible for the death of her best friend, and the best way to handle that was to not grow up. So the whole show, I'm there with a gun, carrying a doll with a gun in his head. So that was my favorite from and that kind of thing. But the other ones, I can't talk about the name of the one I just shot with.
Mm-hmm.
But it was a Thomas Churchill film,
Okay.
and that was so much fun. We had such a great time on the set, and Clownado. Clownado was just a gas, and I think a lot of people now have
I
heard of
was
Clownado.
I was just looking at that clown NATO. That's the title alone is hilarious. Oh my God, you
I
got a
know,
7.2 rating for this. That's awesome.
yeah, and now I think it went viral. I mean, it's a real grunge film. It's real, kind of like horror, humor, sex. It's got a little bit of everything in it, and
All the
it's a
good
real
stuff.
fun film. So, I mean, that was really fun. I did another film that's coming out right now, called The Ascent, which is actually about exorcism, and we'll tell you everything you wanted to know about exorcism that you didn't know. It's kind of a research project that I don't have anything to do with the exorcism. Um, um, I'm just this lady. I'm a uh, chain smoking garage owner.
Mm-hmm.
So we decided that would be better. So Then we do another short film though that's called Exorcism in Beverly Hills. And then I'm gonna play a disembodied demon that they say is a cross between Bill and Ted and The Conjuring.
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh man.
Life is weird, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'm gonna have
Yeah.
to see that one for sure.
You know, the best time I think in an actor's life is when you're waiting to shoot things, because life is perfect. It's like when someone offers you a job.
Mhm.
Mhm.
It's like it's perfect. Nothing can go wrong.
Right.
But I have to tell you, I promised my friend that I would tell you about his film, which is actually going to go on Kickstarter. And we don't have the link yet, but if you look at The Bloody Night on Facebook,
Mhm.
then you'll find out everything you want to know, and maybe you'll give us $5 or 10 or something. And I've worked for Jason uh, 3 times before, and he's a really, really good screenwriter. And this one is about a home invasion gone wrong, but
Oh.
it happens when the people with the home invasion are leaving the house, and it's sad and it's haunted. It's very haunted and scary, and
Are
it's
you
gonna
gonna
be a
be in it?
wonderful film. You guys want it? Oh yeah,
Good.
yeah. I'm gonna be. I'm gonna be in it. I'm gonna
The
play the
Bloody
neighbor.
Night.
The Bloody Night.
All right,
And
everybody,
they're gonna.
go out and look for that, and open up your
Yeah, it's on
pocketbooks.
Kickstarter. And I know people are probably overwhelmed with Kickstarter, but I very, very rarely go out and promote a film on Kickstarter or Indiegogo or anything, because frankly, everybody in the world wants me to promote their films, of course.
Mhm.
And
Right.
I certainly don't want to get overexposed, like, oh yeah, it's Eileen again. Well, forget that. um, so I'm very picky. And there's some great perks, including one that if you live in LA, I'm going to go have lunch with you. And if you live in Portland, then I'm going to go have lunch or dinner.
Which
Mhm.
Portland?
And I'll bring an autographed picture for you. That so
Portland, Maine, or Portland,
there you go.
Oregon?
Sorry, you're
Po-
a native of Portland?
Port. Which Portland?
Oh, I'm sorry, Portland, Oregon.
Ah, I'm up in the Seattle area.
Oh, I did a movie there last year that I'm not allowed to talk about, but we shot it up in Seattle.
That sucks,
It
man. Those
involved a lot of people
NDAs.
from Portland. Everybody wants secrets. It's like these NDA stuff, It's
It's
so silly,
terrible.
you
So
know.
someone in the
Oh,
chat
I got to
room
go
has.
back to this for a minute. I had to think of it. The horror con that I'm doing is called the horror. I can't say the word. Horrific. It's called the Horrific Film Fest, and that's
Oh,
in
fun.
San Antonio.
And what are the
So
dates on that again?
that's October 19th through the 21st. It's
Well,
the
Okay.
weekend.
that's coming right up.
No, he got the date wrong. I'm looking at it online. It's actually 18th to the 20th.
Okay.
You
And
can
that's
check your calendar. I'm pretty sure it's the 18th to the 20th.
in Texas.
Yeah. I just be a Texas girl.
Austin. Did you say it was in Austin?
No, the Austin one is the Texas
Oh, okay.
Chainsaw Massacre. Blah, blah, I can't talk anymore. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is in Austin. And this one is outside of San Antonio. But this one will be fun. If any of you are in the Texas area, I think there's only like 4 or 5 celebrities there. And so you're going to get a chance to really talk to us and hang out and stuff like that, and not stand in huge lines. So I
Yeah.
guess there's something to be said for smaller shows.
Man, I'm not moving out to Texas until March.
Are you moving? Wait, you moving to Texas?
I'm moving to Texas, yeah, in a few months.
I don't think I knew that.
Yeah,
What part?
we're looking at the Dallas area.
Hmm. Because I know you live in Northern California, right?
Yeah, yeah. It's just too expensive nowadays, so we're heading out.
Oh, well, I hope you like it.
Me too. Me too. But I think
Yeah.
it'll be good for sure.
Why not? Life has changed, right?
Exactly. Been here my whole life. It's time for something different.
Hey, I'd move out of LA, except I got to make a living.
Yeah, yeah. It's like,
But we go away a lot, and we go boating, camping during the summer, and God knows I travel a lot, so it's all good. And I live in a fabulous place that used to be an old monastery.
oh
Oh,
man.
that's
Um,
awesome.
and we've been living here for like over 30 years, and it's really it's just a wonderful place. It's in the Hollywood Hills, and it kind of looks like a big cabin.
Oh, nice.
So what was the your what film did you work on that was like your hardest role to do?
The Exorcist, because
Really?
um, as many of you know, I was made up to look like Reagan, and no, it wasn't a double. It wasn't a stunt double. It was the principal actor. I played the demon that possessed Reagan, and the vomiting scene was tough.
Oh,
Mhm.
They
how
put
was
a
that
thing in your.
done?
Well, you got to read my book. No,
Okay. All right.
Dick, Dick Smith put no, Dick Smith put an appliance in my mouth that was like a horse's bit,
Oh man.
and they literally pumped the green pea soup out of both ends. And the only reason, well, it was tough on a lot of levels, but God knows I used to smoke at that time. Um, I couldn't talk, and you know what that would be like. I couldn't really talk. Shut me up, right? Um, so I couldn't talk, and I couldn't smoke, and I surely couldn't eat. So that was a little tough, but it was fun. And the other one, talking about eating, when I did Planet of the Apes, the TV show,
Yeah.
it
Mhm.
was just really funny because they that the chimp mask was put on piece by piece. Unlike the extras, that they just put two pieces and smacked them on,
Mhm.
and but you couldn't see the end of your mouth, and like in order to eat or
Oh.
drink, you had to
Oh.
put a mirror in front of you, and take a straw, and for the liquid, and look in the mirror so you could see where the end of your mouth was.
Oh,
And
wow.
then, yeah, the only thing tough about that is the feet that they have. They put sneakers inside the feet,
Mhm.
and we were shooting. I don't, it was the first thing I ever shot in LA. I'm not even quite sure where we were, but it was pretty much in the middle of the desert, I think. And it was really, really hot. And so your feet really, really sweat. That was so much fun. I mean, Roddy McDowell started me. I've been so lucky. I've just shot with so many different people. I did a play with Tony Perkins. I shot Planet of the Apes with Roddy McDowell and blah blah blah. I've just really been very lucky.
So you've been
Hey,
doing movies
something else
for
I never played out. I did a horror TV show with Jamie Foxx,
what?
and
What?
that never even got out of post production. I don't know what happened with that.
Oh, okay.
I think people were suing people or something like that.
Oh, that's crazy.
So yeah, I've had a crazy life. That's why I got to read my book.
Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna get off here and buy it as soon as we're done. Um,
Yeah,
so
it's
you've been
really
doing
fun.
movies.
And
You've been
the
doing
thing is
movies
that
for.
it really makes. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
It makes a great even Christmas present because it's not a horror book.
Right.
Although I talked about the movie and stuff. And I think it's fascinating to people that even don't love The Exorcist because there's so much other stuff in there.
How could they not love The Exorcist?
Some
That is
people
my favorite
some
movie.
people don't like horror films. I have friends that have never seen it.
I just don't understand
And
people who don't like horror.
I think talking about hype, I don't know if this is true or not. I'd have to do a poll. But I think the hype is scarier than The Exorcist watching it in 2019 because people have been through so much and seen so much. But I'd have to ask someone. That goes to see the film, and see what they think of it.
I don't know. That movie to this day still gets me. Like, and I think that's why that's my favorite horror movie. And horror, it's my favorite genre, so it's hard to impress me. But that movie, from the first time I saw it till now, it still gets under my skin.
Say that again. I'm sorry. Say it again.
I said that movie still gets to me. It still kind of freaks me out, and it's not like because it's so scary. I don't know. I guess because I'm a paranormal investigator and the things that I've experienced in my life, I think that's probably why it gets to me the way it does. But it still has the same effect on me today.
It's also because you're a mom, right?
I'm an aunt, so close enough.
But you have kids around because I truly believe that the 2 levels The Exorcist really worked on is that because Dick Smith was such a genius and they made the makeup for the demon be so accessible, and the makeup test went from like big eyebrows and teeth, worse teeth than they have, and just really, really demonic, as we see in almost like cartoons, or you know what I mean, really demonic. And he kept taking it down, until it looked like a little girl with really bad scars and stuff like that, except for Captain Howdy, of course, which I played, which is all mine. And I think that on the 2 levels were the parents that no matter what their religious background became petrified they were going to open the door to their kid's bedroom and see their child like that.
Right.
And the kids were petrified because they thought they were going to turn into that. And I've had kids tell me that they saw the movie and they thought there was a monster living under the bed for a long time. So I think those are the 2 levels that it really, really worked on.
How did it affect you in that sense? I mean, playing a role like that, did it open you up more to the belief in the paranormal, or was it just a role to you?
I mean, I kind of like to say yes, but no. My excitement was the first major. I'd done other films, but it was the first major motion picture I'd ever done, and I knew Max von Sydow because my mother wasn't taking us to foreign films. So I saw Max von Sydow in many films, and I knew this was a major motion picture. So that was incredibly exciting. And, being on that set. And again, everybody must remember that we didn't know it was going to be The Exorcist. We knew we were shooting a horror film. And there were all kinds of things that were going on the set, which I will not tell you about. You have to read the book. But just going to work. And it was 3.5 hours of makeup, and I didn't care, and sometimes I go to work and they put all that makeup on me and I'd sit around for 8 hours and then they would take it off and I would never shoot. I didn't care about that either. I mean, they were paying me.
Right.
So that whole part of it was just really exciting. And, but no, when I took the makeup, I read in a book once, when I was reading about an act, it's Borowski. I'll be in a second. But he wrote a book, and he said, maybe it was Stanislavski, but I don't really believe that much in Stanislavski. I think it was Stanislavski. He said, when you're doing a play, do not ever go to the theater in the clothes you're going to be in the play. You've got to put on the clothes, create the character, and take them off before you go home. And that's what I always felt about all my movies, that whatever I choose to wear, even if I'm bringing my own clothes, which happens on indies, that when you get to the set, then you become that character and create that character and be that character. Take the clothes off, and in a sense, then you peel off what you're doing and go home and don't think about it till the next day unless you have to learn lines. And don't go to the movies and eat salted popcorn, because I did that once. And your face is so fresh,
Oh my God.
It burns.
So
I did another job, believe it or not, in Turks and Caicos. There's an island called Grand Turk Island, and the reason I'm bringing that up is because that was a 3.5-hour makeup job too, and everybody was out playing. It takes actually, in some things, it takes half as long to take the makeup off as it does to put it on.
Really?
They have to do it like taking off a Band-Aid. They have to do it really, really slowly. So you want to get out and get home, but you know, I don't want to sound like Pollyanna, but I just love working. So do with me what you want, make me wait as long as you want. Just as I just want to be on set.
Man, you must be a director's dream. Seriously, because you're not causing trouble, and you enjoy doing what you do.
I think that's probably true.
Yeah.
Yeah, you sound truly passionate about it.
Oh yeah, I'm in my life I can be high maintenance, but in my acting I never am.
That sounds like the right combination. Yeah.
That's good though.
My husband calls me my husband and my manager call me HP for high maintenance. Oh, HM. Sorry.
HM.
For high maintenance. Oh, why didn't I call?
So
why don't I get every audition I go on? What's wrong with them?
What are some of the changes? What are some of the changes you've seen in how horror films are made over the years?
Oh Lord. And you can probably answer this yourself. I think nowadays that there's an incredible difference between what I call the difference between horror and the difference between terror. And terror has plot and characters, and things happen and things change, and the horrendous, if I can use that word, things that happen are a part of the story. And now, first of all, anybody can pick up a red camera, and everything everybody makes looks great. I go to film festivals sometimes, and everything looks incredible, but they have no script. There's just absolutely no script, and you sit there and you go, "What is this?" And it's just boring. I mean, how many times you're going to see, blood falling out of someone's limbs, and people invent things that are worse. Except, and I am going to plug 3 films that I just went to see. I just went to The Girl on the Third Floor, and they absolutely come up, and that has a plot and a story and characters and all that. So I call it terror. But they actually came up with special effects that I've never seen before, and that's hard.
Yeah.
And that was great. There's another film that you should look for is a film called Blind, which has been winning many, many awards, and it's just wonderfully acted and stuff. And then the third one, and I become friends with him. I'm going to shoot Clown Motel 2, but I saw Clown Motel 1, and it's a lot of fun. And it's horror, and it's funny, and there's people you like in it. And Ari Lehman is one of the people in there, and Tony Moran. So those are 3 films. I'm going to put them on your list of films you should see.
Definitely.
Absolutely.
Along with Itsy Bitsy. I know I didn't mention. It's comedy horror film I shot. That's I'll tell you the name in a second. Abnormal Attraction, and it's a comedy horror film that's out there, and it's basically about this city that the monsters. It kind of has racist overtones to it, but the monsters live in one part of the town, and the human beings live in the other part of the town. They hate each other in the same way we have racism, and they made up all the people in there. There's Bigfoot in there. There's Yetta in there, and all those people. And it's really funny. um, and it's a fun horror film. But in answer to your question, um, that's the difference. I get some scripts. My manager, my agent likes to say, my manager's Chris Rowe. I'll give him a plug. He just made an amazing short film called Cemetery Tales, A Tale with Two Sisters, and it's winning awards everywhere. And it's a black and white film that almost channels my favorite film, uh, which is Whatever Happened to Baby Jane and Sunset Boulevard. And it's amazing. But Chris always says, an acting whore. I'll take anything that comes my way, and it's not true. I read some scripts. I can't even get past the third page, and these people told me, they said, "Oh, it's a real feminist horror film. You're gonna love it." And so, really, it opens up with these children being impaled, and the next scene is all these like blood and guts coming out of these people. And no, I'm not going to read that. So that's a very long answer. I'm a great guest because I just keep talking. But I'm not going to do that. And people send me scripts, but it's just horrid, and they think it's horror. They think it's horror.
Yeah.
And so that's really the difference. That and I think, unfortunately, I don't know where they get the money to shoot this stuff. I see them on DirecTV a lot, and I've never heard of them, and I've never heard of the people or anything, but they get the money to shoot it, and they're really just horrible. They have no characters, they have no plots, they have nothing. They just think they can make a movie about blood.
There are very few places to learn uh, how to be a good screenwriter, and I
Good
think
is the operative word.
yes, the mechanics
Okay.
are simple, but writing an effective, a compelling screenplay is hard as can be.
Oh, I agree with you. I think that you have to gotta have something kind of like opera singers. Like, why doesn't my voice sound like an opera singer? I got the same vocal cords, right? I got the same stuff, but I think you're born with something, or something that you just haven't. And once you learn the fundamentals of writing a script, that um, you're just born with this innate quality to be able to tell a story. Like the guy who wrote The Bloody Night, Facebook.
Yeah.
He just writes really good horror films, and I don't know how he knows how to do it and someone else doesn't. You know,
Yeah.
I also think being a writer in Hollywood and anywhere else is much tougher than being an actor.
You think so?
Oh yeah, there's writers everywhere, and you have to.
Ah.
It's easier. It's easier to get an agent, and it's easier to work as an actor, because if I talk to actors, I tell them, I said, you gotta act. You
Mhm.
can't act in your bedroom. Well,
Right.
you can, but you got to act. So go look for student films. Go look for any student films you can find
Just
and
just
shoot them.
just
Whether they're
do it.
good, whether
Just
they're
do whatever
bad.
you can, huh?
Absolutely. And if you come to Hollywood, for God's sake, come with a lot of money. So don't buy a new car, and don't live in an apartment unless you're sharing it with. Well, everything's expensive in Hollywood now,
Mhm.
but unless you're sharing it with four people, and for God's sake, don't run up credit card bills. If that's what a starving actress is or actor is, then that's what it is. So that the
Right.
reason why is so you have the money to work for free, and you can do student films, or you can. And um, in New York, it wasn't films really, but I used to do plays, and
Okay.
I'd work as a waitress, and then I'd get a play, and there was a play called Ontological Proof of My Existence by Joyce Carol Oates that directly led to me getting the part in The Exorcist.
Oh
And,
wow.
that was
Ah.
non-pay,
Yep. Yep.
but it was an amazing play, but some agents came to see it, and then they asked me if I wanted to audition for it, and I said, yeah. And that's another thing, without getting in a soapbox. They keep trying to get rid of free theater, and they don't. Why do you want to work for free? You're an actor. You should make money. Blah blah blah. You work for free because, first of all, you need to work, and second of all, um, because you need to be out there.
Yeah, for people to see you.
They did a whole thing in. Pardon?
I said for people to see you.
But the reason I hesitated on that is because that can't be the main reason you do a play, because no one will come see you. But the publicity is good.
Right.
I did a play last year called, believe it or not, Reservoir Bitches. And it was with Tarantino's permission.
Oh, that's great.
But basically, nobody came to see it. But I did it because I wanted to see if I could learn all those lines, because you start doing enough films and you only have to learn 3 lines at a time or 5 lines at a time or something.
Right.
I wanted to see if I could learn all those lines and what it would be like doing something live. So I did. It's fun to talk about. It's a fun credit. But I just say you can't do it because someone will see you. You can do it because some people might hear about it and stuff like that. And I always thought you might as well send out postcards of a play you're not doing because no one's going to come see it anyway. I should do a stand-up, right?
Yeah.
You're great.
Acting in the land of Hollywood. Will you come see it?
Who's doing your one-woman show for you? Who's writing that?
Yeah. I mean, people are still talking to me about doing a one-woman show or a film about my book. And this year, this year is almost over. But within 2020, I'm going to make an audio book.
Oh, nice.
Outstanding.
Because, most people don't read anymore. Or many people don't read anymore.
Yeah.
Except you people who can order my book, you'll read it.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
So
think deep. Think if there's nothing else that you asked me about that you have absolutely need to know.
Well,
Oh, SK.
I usually got 12. I usually have 12 questions all stacked up in my head, and all of a sudden it's You ever go blank?
All the time. Are you kidding?
Well, like
Boleslavsky wrote that book about acting.
yeah.
It's a great acting book. If you guys out there want to read a book about acting, it's really a wonderful acting book about the process of acting.
Right. Now, you said you were spiritual. Have you ever had a paranormal experience or experienced something that you just couldn't explain?
Only that, well, first of all, that, I live in this old monastery. And, but I know if there are spirits, so many people have said that they wanted to come to my place and check it out, but no one ever has.
Ooh.
Can I come?
Yeah.
Of course you can. Anytime. But my dog passed in November.
I'm so sorry.
And she was my best friend and my baby and all of that. She went with me everywhere I went. And I see her a lot. She comes to the bathroom and she comes and lays down on the bed. And I know she's there. I hope she's not trapped there. I don't believe. Sorry, guys. Well, I don't really believe in the Rainbow Bridge. I believe it's a beautiful sentiment. But so my dog's around, and I know there's good spirits in this house. I felt them as soon as I came here.
Yeah, it seems like you're definitely surrounded by a bunch of positivity anyway.
Yeah. Tammy, you can come down to my place anytime you like.
Yes, I need to do that before I move.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You can come talk to my husband instead of me. He'll be here. He likes it when I go out of town. I said, "Oh, do you miss me?" And he said, "Not really. We've been together over 30 years." So I said, "Did you miss me?" And he said, "Not really." I said, "Not what?" He said, "Well, sometimes it's just nice to be alone." And I said, "I get that."
No, I'm the same way. I love when my husband goes away. Then it's just kind of like me time. And then he text messages me the entire time he's gone, and I'm like, "You're gone. Like, enjoy it. Like, leave me alone for a couple of days. That'd be great." Yeah, I get that completely.
You sound very happy here.
Yeah.
I should wait for you to hang up to ask me. I hope your health is good.
One of your photographs on IMDb is with Malcolm McDowell.
Oh, I've done 3 movies with Malcolm McDowell.
Really? Which ones?
Only one that I was in the same scene with him. So, the first one was the one I'm with him in a scene is called Kids versus Monsters, and I play a witch. And man, it was one of those things that the screenplay was fabulous, and it was so unique, and it was so different. And I haven't seen it. They gave me the wrong date of the premiere. Ha ha.
Oh no!
But,
what?
Oh, it's horrible.
How does that even happen?
We got all dressed up and went to the Egyptian theater, and there was nobody there.
Oh.
And they even gave me my own theme music.
Oh,
but
my
anyway,
God.
It's called Kids versus Monsters. And then I did the film I just told you about, Abnormal Attraction, the comedy horror one.
Yeah.
And Bruce Davison is also in that. And then the other one was, oh shit. It wasn't called Oh Shit.
That'd be a great name for a film, though.
Oh, it's another film that didn't come out because they had a horrible problem with the union. It was a non-union shoot with union actors, and somehow or other the union came down and said you have to shoot at union with the whole crew after the film was shot, and they didn't have the money to do that. So it's just in Nowhereville, and that was called Dream Wizard.
And they already it's
really sad. And
they finished the.
And then he died.
They finished filming, and then they couldn't release it, huh?
Yeah, they wanted all that money for that, and
does that happen a lot?
I don't really know.
Yeah.
I don't really know. But I only know about this one, and his name just went out of my head. He passed a couple months ago, and I can't remember his name, but he was really known for makeup and stuff like that. And but he shot this whole movie. It's a lot of sad tales in Hollywood.
Yeah, definitely.
I wish it. Oh, John. I got the John part. See, you asked me if I didn't draw blanks. I draw blanks, but eventually it comes to me. John.
John something or other.
Oh, John Bucher. John Bucher.
Okay.
And everybody loved him. He gave lots and lots of people their starts in Hollywood. From cinematographers to grips to everybody. And yeah, he just passed. It was a beautiful service. But yeah, that was the other film that I did with Malcolm. Malcolm is a client of my manager's. So I've met him many, many times, and I've done shows with him. And he's a great guy.
So any advice for someone who wants to try to get into doing like indie horror films? Acting?
I'm so sorry, say it again.
Any advice for somebody who wants to try to get into doing indie horror films but doesn't have any like
well, first of all,
experience?
Like I said, I would look for all of them that you can find that are student films. And most universities have many universities have film departments besides USC or UCLA or Chapman or AFI. They all make student films. A lot of high schools. I did. So nice to be able to talk about my credits and let it be legit and not be one of those actors like, oh God, here we go again. I got a script for a horror film that was so well written, and I really, really liked it. It was a student film, and that one I actually auditioned for. It was a high school student film.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
at Glendale High School. When I found out, I mean, I accepted the role that high schools, they have the best equipment in the whole world. They have up-to-date equipment. They have editing. They have, teachers that overlook their shoulders. This filming experience, it was one of the most evil person I've ever played. I mean, they said, "Why do you kill people?" And she says, "'Cause I love it. I feel such a rush, stick a knife in somebody and I feel this rush." She was just evil personified. And that was a student film. And I went to a film festival. And I didn't invite anybody because I'm still thinking, oh my God, these are all high school films. I got to tell you, from all the high school festivals that, all the film festivals I've been to, that this was the best one I ever saw. They had Burbank High and Beverly Hills High and Glendale High, and they all had the best equipment, and every film was better. I think in the whole night.
That doesn't surprise me at all.
No, it really doesn't. That's not surprising.
Right? They probably call up their, "Hey, Dad, I need some costumes. All right, come on down to the set. We'll get you some."
Not high school. There might be high school kids, but not high school produced films. And everybody on the set wanted to be there.
Yeah.
They were all having such fun, and I taught them how to cater a film.
Nice.
They're spending too much money on catering. I taught them, how to make a big thing of lasagna, or a big thing of chili. Get some bread and you're done. But no, seriously though, it's not like that at all. Let me get some costumes. These are really high tech films, and like I said, there are all these teacher advisors that are there and helping them. And my film was so scary. Apparently, a little girl ran out of the theater. So, Mommy. So,
and that wasn't Warner Brothers doing.
Yeah, exactly. But in answer to your question, yeah, look at student films. Look at what they're doing. You got to work for no money. If you're really serious about what you're doing, sign up to LA Casting. It's LA Casting. And if you don't live in LA, then you can put where you live. And they have dozens of casting things that are student films that they list casting stuff on there.
Right.
So,
and if you're
that's an answer to the question.
Yeah, and if you're not in LA, you probably have a independent film community near you, because they're everywhere. Because yeah.
See, where I find it hard is a lot of my connections live in different states, so it makes it hard for me to try to get into these things. But I'll definitely look and see what's local.
Are you looking to do horror films?
I've wanted to do horror films for my whole life. That was been my dream since I was 5 years old.
Do you have a resume?
I haven't done anything on screen except for Ghost Adventures, which I don't think that really counts. But I've done a lot of behind the scenes stuff.
That doesn't count.
No,
I bet. I bet you got a great scream for horror, don't you, Tammy?
Yeah, I do. Definitely.
I have a friend of mine, she works for my agent, that just wanted to be a corpse.
See, I want to be a possessed girl. I want to be a possessed person in a movie. That's
part of it. I'm sorry, what you say?
I want to be possessed. I want to be the possessed girl in a horror movie.
Just typecasting.
Well, I hate to puncture a hole in your dreams, but do you know how to act?
Yeah, I think I do. I mean, I've done a few things behind the camera, and I've always been told I'm a natural. So I think
just go for it. I mean, I'm sure Dallas has a huge film community somewhere.
Yeah, I heard that Dallas is actually growing.
Go to Texas Frightmare Weekend and stop at all the vendors.
That would be a good idea too. I didn't think about that.
Well, and I know Days of the Dead was doing a show in Dallas. I don't know if they still are or not. But you can always go to vendors and say, hey, I want to be an actress. I want to be in a horror film. I'll work for free. Call me.
Yeah, definitely. I'm
gonna
get myself out there. Exactly. Trace my dreams.
Yeah.
Well, there's another route you could take, Tammy. Make your own movie and put yourself in it.
Well, I've already kind of written.
Well, that was my next thing. As much as I, dislike people just taking a camera and making a movie because they don't have a script, find a script and, like you said, make your own movie.
Yeah.
Right.
Pass it around. Send it around. You have no idea what's going to happen. In this world, like I said, everybody's going to tell you that you can't, and that's not good enough. And what are you doing? And all that kind of stuff. And to hell with them. Just go out and do it. No one said it would be easy. No, I don't know. I don't know if I could start over again. It seems like it's a lot harder than when I started, but I guess it was very hard when I started. I just decided I didn't think it was. Right.
Yeah, nowadays we have like all these social media branded famous people trying to, it's a lot different, I think, now. But
well, I think the biggest problem is that, like we always say, there's so more avenues to act in with all the stuff on Netflix and Amazon and all that. There's so much more stuff that you could act in. But number one, most of those shows are really contained. They really have their even say something like strange. What am I thinking of? Not strangers.
Stranger Things.
What's the strange? Yeah.
Yeah.
That show is basically 10 people, maybe 12. I didn't count it, but 10 or 12 people in their ensemble, and maybe they'll have a techie there or a thing with a. Yeah. Well, I thought the last one was horrible. They had Nazis and spies and stuff like that, but all those shows, and I mean, Grace and Frankie, which I love.
Oh, I love that show.
It's amazing. But when you think of the show, besides them and their gay husbands,
that's great,
and their kids,
yeah.
There's nobody else on it.
Sam Elliott was on a couple of times.
And even on network, you have, SVU and CSI and those kind of shows that use a lot of people, but they're totally in the minority. And for some reason, when people are casting online, that I think my friend that did the Clown Motel, he had like 1,500 submissions for one part.
Oh my God!
And some of them are 2,000. So then the trick is you have to get a picture that really stands out, because they'll go through all these little 2.5-inch pictures, and they'll click on the one that they like, and then having an agent that they'll click on paste pictures from certain agents, but that can't be your. It can't. So many people come out to Hollywood and say, "I gotta find an agent. I gotta find an agent." Well, that's really difficult before you have a resume.
Right.
And now, all anybody ever does is look at IMDb. So you have to put together. I mean, there's all kinds of things you have to do. What is the name of that book? I mean, I might as well promote my friend's book, because she wrote a book, and it is called. I haven't read it, but I bought it to support her. It's called The Hollywood Survival Guide for Actors. Your handbook for being a working actor in LA.
I was talking to an actor friend of mine.
When I send you the pictures, I'm going to send you a picture of her book.
Oh, okay, perfect.
I haven't read it yet, but I know Kim, and her husband just came out in a movie called The Wishmaster, which is how, not how to make a wish. Oh Lord, what is called for terminal kids? They get their wishes made.
Make a wish.
Make a wish.
Yeah. So this movie is about how that came about.
Oh, okay.
And that's going. That's going to be it's going to be in Walmart and online everywhere and stuff like that. So I'm going to send a copy of the book. It's right in our conversation.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, you said this was going to be 20 minutes, and I've had a wonderful time, but we've been talking on the phone for 1:11:28, and 1:11 is my favorite number. So, there you go. Well, it's my birthday.
What?
Oh, okay.
And
it's your
it's one of
birthday?
those things. Yeah,
No,
1:11.
January 1/11.
But there's something about people. My managers, I even made Chris Rowe. I'll say his name again. His birthday is 11/11, and there's something about people like this that I swear to you, so many times I pick up the phone, it says 1:11 or it says 11/11. It's just crazy, and they
11,
say that we're aliens or I don't know. They have all kinds of things to explain that.
11/11
But now
is
it's
my parents' anniversary.
So we probably should say goodbye. Do you have anything left you want to ask me?
I think I'm good. Do you have anything else?
I don't. No, this has been a real hoot talking with
That's
you.
been fun.
Very much appreciate you being on and sharing all your great stories.
And you can find more great stories
in her book.
My Demons. Facebook me on Eileen Dietz. It's very simple. It's just EILEEN DIETC. And next time we do this, I'll get my Skype to work.
Yes. Thank you so much for coming on.
Yes.
Tell me, it was a pleasure. And seriously, when are you moving to Dallas?
We're looking at March.
Okay, well, call me probably after the New Year.
Okay.
Because I'm going to two times Texas and Colorado and Portland. They're showing The Exorcist in Portland, and they invited me to host the film. So come see me before you move, and definitely you can bring anybody you want, and definitely do a ghost hunter.
That would be so much fun. I will. I'll definitely call you.
And tell my dog if she's in limbo, it's okay.
Oh, I will.
She just wants to be with you.
People. Well, I know people, and I suppose animals are caught in a limbo sometimes.
Yeah.
Right?
It definitely happens. You know? I seen some of my deceased cats too. So yes, I believe that happens.
Oh, I did a play called Steam Bath that everybody was caught between heaven and hell in a steam bath, and that was directed and later starred Tony Perkins. So that was another great experience.
Oh, fun. Have to look into that one too.
Wow, yeah. just keeps going.
I know, right?
If you want to hear great stories about that and Tony Perkins, gotta buy my book. Okay, good night, guys.
Good night.
Good night, hon. Bye.
If you think of anything else you need to know, call me.
All right.
Bye.
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 All right, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight, and have a good evening.